Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One and my old barn door, and I just kind of wanted to do craft with me and play around today. I am working on the long-awaited Holly Hobbie journal kits that I have been telling y'all that I was working on for a while now. And I was working on them, and then I had to stop because I had to do some other things, and then just kind of got sidetracked. And so now I'm trying to get back to it so that I can get them finished and get them in the shop for y'all, because I know that a lot of you were wanting them. So for what I'm doing right now is I'm making some tags to go with those. And so what I've done is I've printed some of the pages from my fabric collage kits that I put in my Etsy shop, and then I printed some pages from the collage page scans that I've had in there for a little while, and then I printed also some of the pages from my quilted backgrounds. And what I want to do is I want to make some tags, some really cute pretty tags to go in the kits for the Holly Hobbie stuff. And I just, I always think of quilted stuff when I think of Holly Hobbie, because that's kind of, she had the quilted dress and the really pretty, images that go along with Holly Hobbie. So I decided that I wanted to make some tags. So I just thought I would let the camera play. And it also gives you an idea of some things that you can do with the kits that I have, the digitals that I have in the shop. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start cutting out tags. So what I always do when I print these, I print them on my cardstock, and this is it's 110 pound cardstock. It's bright white. And I get this at Walmart. There's 150 sheets in it. So it's actually cheaper to buy it this way than it is to buy it at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's or somewhere like that. So so I usually just print them off on the cardstock, and then I just trim the edges so that I don't have any white spots. And then once I get the edges trimmed, then I'm going to go ahead and trim out whatever size tags that I want. And I think I want to go, let me see what 2.5 looks like. 2.5 looks pretty good. So I'm just going to cut 2.5 inch strips out of my page. And you can do multiples of these at the same time. You don't have to just do one at a time. Let me see, this one looks like it's going to be a little bigger. So it's about 2 3/4 inches, maybe a little more. So, they don't have to be exactly 2.5 or whatever. Let's see. I'm trying to count how many of these. I'm going to show you what I do. I usually take about 3 at a time. And I just want to kind of get some that have the same type of edges. So let's do this one. And this one. I really love how these turned out. I'm going to do 4 at a time. And then I need to flip it over this way so that the edges are basically the same. And I'm going to do four sheets at a time. That's a little harder to cut through. So I always just kind of go over it twice to make sure I get a good cut. But this will save you some time, if you want to make multiple tags at the same time or whatever, then you can just stack them together. And according to what kind of trimmer you have, if you have the big trimmers or whatever, this is just a little cheap trimmer, but you could probably do, more than 4 pages at a time. So, but with this blade in this little trimmer, it's usually about 4 sheets at a time is about all it can handle. Okay, and so then I'm just going to go this way, and I'm going to do 2.5 inch strips. And I love how different they come out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get finished cutting them. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you have this type of trimmer, this one's very old. I mean, the plastic sheeting's already come off of it and everything. But when you close this trimmer, you see this little piece here? If you hold your blade down and you push that over, it locks the piece that holds your blade. So it kind of gives you a little bit more sturdy. It took me a long time to find that. I never knew it was there for a long time, so. But it just kind of helps to keep it a little more sturdy when you're cutting. Okay. So here are my 2-inch strips. And as you can see, I didn't cut that, but you know, I'm going to trim them up anyway. But I'll show you the differences. I mean, once you cut these up into tags, they look so much different than, you know, just the one big sheet. So you have that one. And I mean, just from these printouts, you can get so many different kinds of tags. It's really cool, the difference that it makes in the tags that you can get. So see? And then I'll just lay a few more out. So, I mean, it's a very versatile little digital to use. And it gives you lots of options. I mean, you can make pockets out of these. You can make little booklets out of them or whatever. And I may, speaking of little booklets, these would make cute little booklet covers, wouldn't they? I think I may do some of these little booklet covers. Might have to do that maybe in the next video. Okay, so I have some tags cut out. And then basically, I'm not going to do a whole lot to these because they're really pretty just the way they are. And I love how you can see the stitching in them. So that adds a good element to it. You can see the stitching there. And then I love how, you know, how you get the different types of tags out of it. So I think now what I'm going to do, I want to measure and see how long these are. Okay, so these are about 8 inches long. I'm looking for, I usually like my tags to be about 5.5 inches in length, just to give it a good size tag. So what I want to do, I'm going to trim the edges off of these so that, you know, I can get a good 5-inch or 5.5-inch tag without having to trim more from it. So I'm going to trim these and then I'll come right back and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I have my tags trimmed down, and these are 5.5-inch long strips. And so what I want to do, and what I did with the pieces that are left over, I'm not throwing these away because I'm going to make clusters with these, because these are really cool backgrounds and they're a really good size for clusters. So I'll put those to the side and I'll make clusters with those. And then I have this little tag punch from the Paper Studio, which is Hobby Lobby brand, and it's dusty, but that's okay. So I just want to take my tags and I want to punch the top of them. Now the largest size that this goes is 2.5 inches, so that's why I wanted to make my tags 2.5 inches. So, and I'm just going to punch, and then you get the cool little top, the tag punch at the top. So now you have a ready-made tag. So I'm going to go ahead. Usually this does best when you punch one at a time, because I'm just trying to see which. I kind of like this as the top. So, you know, it'll take you a minute to punch the tops of your tags, but it doesn't take that long. So I'm going to go ahead and finish punching the tops of the tags, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, so I have all the tops punched, and so the next step is I want to do some embossing on them, because, you know, they're a quilted type page or tag, and so I just always think that it looks so It gives it that authentic look, that quilted look, if you emboss them. So I'm going to bring up my Cuttlebug, and then we're going to pick a plate or a folder, and I'm probably going to go with my most favorite. Oh, I don't know though. This one's cool. It's a quilted looking one. So maybe we'll use this one because it has that quilted look to it. So I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take several of my tags and lay them out in my folder here, because you don't have to do them one at a time. And sometimes you get a better embossing if you have it a little bit fuller, so if it's a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to lay it into my plates here, and then we will run it through the Cuttlebug. Whoops, it's probably not the best place to do it on this mat because the mat moves around, but okay. So I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me move this out of the way. Well, you can see it on the back side, probably a little better than you can on the front side, but it's just enough to give it that quilted look, so that you can see, you know, a little bit of the embossing, and it doesn't take away from the look of the tag. It just kind of adds something extra. So we'll do that one, and then let's do a different folder, because this is one of my favorite folders. I love it, so I use it all the time. So let's put a few of the tags in there. There we go. Through the Cuttlebug. I love my little Cuttlebug. So there you have, and it has the quilted look to it. It's a little hard to tell on the front side, but it's just enough to give that little detail, you know, that makes it feel like, oh, it's a quilted tag. So you can kind of see right there where it's embossed, and you can see it pretty good on this one. And I love this one. I love this one with the little lace laying on top of the fabric. It just is very unique. And this one too, with that lace laying there. It's unique. So that's what I'm going to do next, or that's what I did next. And then I want to make these really, really simple, you know. So I think what I'm going to do is just maybe tie a piece of lace or a piece of trim or something through the top of it. Maybe some sari silk or something to that effect through the top of it. And then I have some pretty little tags to add into my Holly Hobbie kits. So I'm just gonna finish this one real quick, and then we'll find us some lace to top it with. And I mean, these tags take 0 time to make. I mean, I've done this in what? Just a few minutes, you know, and I've made multiple tags. I don't know how many I've gotten out of it. I think you get 4 tags from a sheet. So from these collage sheets, you get 4 tags. If you do the 2.5 inch, you get 3 of the 2.5 inch and 1 of the 2 3/4 inch size tags. So you get quite a bit of tags out of the one sheet. So that works out really well. Okay, so we're finished with the Cuttlebug. I'm gonna put it up. All right, and then I want to just find something pretty to top it. Now you can ink the edges of your tag if you want to, but I don't really want to. I like just the simplicity of them. 1, 2, 3, So that's 12 tags there, so not too shabby of a deal. And then I have this big bag of pretty ribbons, and I thought I could use these ribbons as toppers in the tags. And so see, like this one has the blues and the purples. So let's see, let's find a blue and maybe like a purple, and then we'll just do 2 together. And tie it through. And then you just have a super cute little tag that you can put in your journal, and you can write on the back of this. Even though it's embossed, you can still write over that, so you can still use it, or you can use these as gift tags or whatever you want to use them for. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with the tags. So that kind of gives you a little sneak peek of one item that's going to be in these kits. And I will tell y'all these will be limited kits, because with these kits that I'm making, I am depleting my Holly Hobbie stash. So once you get it, they're going to be all gone, or once they're all gone, you know, I won't have any more, because I'm using everything that I have. All of my Holly Hobbie stuff, I'm using it all in these kits to share with you guys. So yeah, so grab them while you can. I'm hoping to have them finished by next week, so just keep an eye out for those. And then I thought, what else can I do with some of these? And I thought, how cool would it be to make envelopes out of these to go into these kits? So these are, which one is this? I think this is called, let me just look at it real quick. Okay, this one's called the Shabby Collage Journal Pages. That's how you'll find it in my shop. So I thought it would be super cool to make some small envelopes out of these. So I cut one in half, of course trim the edges around it, and I cut it in half. And I just want to take it and fold it up like this. And I like to leave a good size little flap on an envelope. So I'm just going to fold it, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to flatten it out. I'm going to take my corner punch and just round the edges of the envelope flat. And I didn't want to flatten down very good. And then I am going to take my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to, oops, whoa, that came out weird. It's almost like it's really, maybe I need to shake it. What a mess. Hang on, let me shake this up. Okay, let's try that again. I don't know. I know that the temperature affects this glue, but I don't know if that's what, you know, if it's the heat, because it's been really hot here lately. Alright, so I'm just going to fold that in and hold it down for a second. It doesn't take very long, because this art glitter glue, it dries really, really fast. I love this stuff. So I'm just going to take a paper towel and just kind of wipe the edges of it. Now y'all, I just eyeball these. I don't measure or anything like that. I just kind of do it by eye. And then I'm just going to fold my flap in and just kind of line up the sides. And there you have a cute little envelope. I mean, how stinking cute is that? And it looks different all the way around. And you have a cute little envelope to put in your journal. So let's make one with this one. I love this part because this was like an old barcode, you know, like a price sticker on, I think it was on some, it was either on some fabric or some wallpaper. And so I added it in, and I love this here. Of course, I love that fabric. So I'm just, again, eyeballing it and folding. I'm going to punch my corners. And put and it doesn't take very much of this art glitter glue. That's why I was shocked when it poured out so much just a minute ago. That was a lot of glue. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold it down and hold it there for a minute. Put my lid back on my glue, and then while it's drying, I'm going to fold in my flap. And there you have a cute, cute little envelope. So if you have a couple of little envelopes, and they can be different sizes, like this one, I think this one would be super cute as an envelope. Let's do it real quick. Where are we on our time? Yeah, we're not too bad on our time. So I'm just going to cut this one in half. And cut my white spaces out. And here's another thing. You know, you think Holly Hobbie, you think all this quilty stuff and things like that. But at the same time, it doesn't all have to be matchy-matchy. You know, and I've struggled with that throughout my journey of making journals and things like that. And I have found that I absolutely love the differences in the different ways that it adds to a kit or a journal when you add stuff that's just completely random into, you know, the journal. Like if you're doing, you know, a Holly Hobbie journal and you add a bird in. I just think that is so cool, because Holly Hobbie loved gardening. You know, that was part of her theme, was gardening. And so, but it just, to me, it just adds a different element, and it just adds that unique little surprise to your project when you just throw in something really random like that. So we'll do our edges and our glue. And you can punch, you know, like a little notch here if you want to. Maybe we'll do that on the next one, since I've already glued this one. But you know, you can punch you a little notch in there. I always forget to put my little pin in my art glitter glue, and then it gets dry. I mean, how simple is that? Cute, cute little envelope. And that would be super cute in a Holly Hobbie journal. So I'm going to do this one more. Let me find my punch. So I'm going to punch down here at the bottom. And let me see how wide this is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about right here is going to be the center. I'm going to turn it over this way. And just punch out a little spot. And then we'll fold him over. And I like using these collage scans because it gives you such a different type of envelope for every one that you do, you know, and every different page that you use, but somehow they all seem to go together too, so it's like they coordinate. Okay, and this video is not meant to show you something new. This is not new. None of this is new. I'm just playing and crafting, and thought I would do a video and say hi while I'm crafting. Hope that all of you guys had a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July. My honey and I, we enjoyed our 4th of July. We just kind of relaxed, and look how pretty that is. Didn't that turn out so cute? And then you have the little punch there. So you can do it, you know, any way you want to. And, you know, you get all different sizes. So, I mean, this would make a cute little envelope pack, wouldn't it? I think it would make a super cute little envelope pack. But yeah, we had a great 4th of July, and we haven't been to a fireworks show in a very long time. And so we decided, my husband has PTSD, so you know, things like that, kind of crowds, he does not do very well. So we have to kind of be careful with that. But, yeah, he was like, he is actually, I usually don't even mention it anymore because I know that, you know, it bothers him. And so I'm not going to ask him to take me, you know, to something that, you know, is going to be hard for him to handle. So, but he actually asked me, you know, do you want to go to the fireworks show? And I said, you know, it's completely up to you. It's whatever you can handle and whatever you want to do. And so he wanted to go. So we went, and I was actually very impressed with our little city. They had a really cool fireworks show, and the grand finale was just amazing. And I was surprised at how long the show lasted. It lasted like 25 minutes, which, you know, usually a fireworks show lasts about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. But this one was, you know, quite a long little fireworks show, and so it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I'm just cutting out more tags now. Just, you know, kind of playing around with the different kind of pages. Like these are the Shabby Collage journal pages, and I think they'll make some super cute. And again, you know, even though this is a Holly Hobbie themed kit, I think having just a little random something in there, you know, I mean, this would make a cute tag for a Holly Hobbie journal. And it's just random stuff. But it still, it goes with it. So I thought I would make a few out of these. I'm going to make a few tags out of these. And then these are the quilted background digitals that I have in my shop, and I thought these would be so stinking cute in the Holly Hobbie stuff. So I'm going to make a few tags out of this one too. So these I might trim out separately just simply because they have different edges, which is fine. I just don't want to trim away too much of one thing, you know. And I actually, when I'm trimming around the white edges on these, I actually like to leave a little bit of the white, because then you get to see the actual edge of the fabric, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you leave just a little bit of the edge, see here, let me see if I can move this so my camera can focus a little better. So right here, you know, you've got the fabric all the way to the top, but you know, it's fabric pieces, it's scrap fabric pieces, so it doesn't always measure out exactly the same. But I love having, you know, the edges of the fabric showing on my white, on the parts of my tags. So I think I want to cut some tags out of this one. And you know, you can make the tags as long or as short as you want to. And I've made tags out of some of these before, I think, on a video. But this just, you know, is a little bit different. Not super different, but really and truly the whole purpose is not to show you how to do something today. It's just basically to chit chat with you and to say hey, hi, and hugs and all the good stuff, and you know, just craft around, I guess is what I'm saying. And so then I'll save these little pieces, and they will be they'll become clusters or collages, you know, like my little collage strips. So let's go ahead and punch, and I think I actually want to leave the white strip at the bottom, so I think I'm going to punch the other edge to make the tag out of it. How stinking cute is that? Won't that be super cute in a Holly Hobbie journal? I think it'll be adorable. And this one particular sheet I kind of did with like a 70s type vibe. So I went with, well, that didn't trim correctly. So let's just fix it. There we go. So yeah, so that's just some ideas of things that you can do to play with those. If if you've gotten those from the shop and you don't really know what to do with them, those are some ideas of things that you can do. Also, while I'm showing, and then I'll be finished because I don't want the video to go too long, but I'm going to trim the edges off of this one. And you don't actually have to trim the edges off of it if you don't want to for this particular part. you can leave it. But I'm just always used to trimming the edges. You know, but this can actually be a journaling page. You know, you can fold it in half and it can be, look how pretty of a journal page is that. So, and I'm going to, I use these in a lot of my, journal pages. So, anyways, just thought I would just play around and say hi and hugs. I'm going to continue making my tags and making my kits and getting everything ready. But I just kind of wanted to show you what I was working on and let you know I am working on the Holly Hobbie journals. I know I've been telling y'all that for a long time, but I am finally to them now, so to speak. So finally got to a point to where I can hopefully get back to work on them and get them finished. So those will be coming in my shop soon. And these DigiKits are already in my shop, so if you want to grab them and play with them, feel free to do so too. And again, I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment box below. And if you would like the video, that would be helpful, and subscribe. And thank you all for watching. I love y'all real big. Big hugs.